Hello everyone. I hope this message finds you fit and fine. My name is Shashank Tyagi. Welcome you all to Contest series of Indian polity based on Lakshmikant. Today we need to discuss emergency provisions as mentioned in our constitution. But before we jump into the provision, proclamation, revocation, impact on center-state relation, impact on fundamental right, let's talk about this word itself. What do you think the word emergency signifies? Just tell me from your common sense in comments. You'll say, yeah, sir, it is something to do with urgency, means special circumstances, exceptional circumstances. But those circumstances would be good or bad. When we are using the word emergency, it means we are talking about bad circumstances, which we don't want. And such circumstances for India's political system would be circumstances which have scope to threaten India's security, unity, integrity, sovereignty. Don't you think if such circumstances are there, then Indian political system needs special arrangement, a special power. And that special power, that special arrangement is actually given in emergency provisions. Today we are going to talk about national emergency, which got inspired, these provisions got inspiration from Weimar Constitution of Germany. So here, when I'm saying transformation is happening, what kind of transformation? You know that Indian model is quasi-federal. Why quasi-federal? States are not having a, you can say, silo of power. It's not like they can say, no, these powers cannot be taken, right? So it means our power arrangement is tilted towards center. Right? But moreover, we have federal model, right? There's division of power. States have some kind of autonomy as well, right? But in case of emergency, when it is imposed, our model turns into unitary. Means power gets concentrated into the hands of center, so that such circumstances can be dealt with in a timely manner, strongly as required. Now, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made observation on emergency provisions. He said, when he looked into US Constitution, it is like tightly held model of federalism. It means even in these kind of circumstances, their model does not transform from federal to unitary. But in the Indian case, we have given this, that this transformation can happen, right, in times of emergency. If I ask you why, can you answer this question from your own understanding, from the journey of this contest series which you have gone through till now? I think all of you would agree that provisions in Indian Constitution has a lot to do with the conditions in that territory. The kind of secessionist movement, insurgency, communal violence, and numerous other challenges which were present in India, they were not present in this manner in case of US. So because we have differences in our political, social reality, that is why we needed this model different from the US model, right? So now reasons for incorporating. Number one, it is quite clear with you now, exceptional threat, right? And what kind of threat? Means sovereignty, security, integrity, told you, for democratic system or constitution. And in this case, federal to unitary transformation will happen as per the requirement of the time. Now, what happens during the emergency? Basic thing, that in case of emergency, center is going to have all the power. When I'm saying all the power, you should keep in mind, it varies with the type of emergency. We are going to talk about it in detail and it's quite simple, right? So, federal structure into unitary structure, told you already. And this kind of transformation of political system, it is said that it is one of a kind. It is unique in its own manner. Now we have three kinds of emergencies. National emergency under Article 352, state emergency, or we say president rule, under Article 356, and then we have finance emergency under Article 360. Okay. This state emergency president rule can also be imposed with the use of another Article 365. I'm going to talk about in detail when I'm going to talk about state emergency. Today, our focus is national emergency. A good amount of, you can say, trap questions, number of trap questions can be made from here. Now, I can divide national emergency into two types. External emergency and internal emergency. Means Article 352 talks about national emergency and dividing it into external emergency and internal emergency. Reason. There are three grounds on which national emergency can be imposed. Our constitution says so. And these grounds are war. For example, if China wages war against India, in this case, President may declare national emergency. There may be external aggression. It means that our security is under threat from outside, but officially war has not been declared. So it means we are having threat from outside, and that is why these two criteria, when they are the reason, then we call it external emergency. Okay. Another is this armed rebellion. Before 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, in place of armed rebellion, the word mentioned was internal disturbance. And it was this word on whose basis Ms. Indira Gandhi ji imposed, you can say, recommended to President that please impose national emergency in India in 1975. So it was internal disturbance. But now this word has been replaced. Now we are armed rebellion. But armed rebellion, from where? From inside. It means if some people within the territory take up arm against their own government, and it has become a challenge to the security, sovereignty, integrity of India, in this case also emergency can be imposed. But it will be called internal emergency. So you can remember, on the basis of war and external aggression, external emergency; on the basis of armed rebellion, internal emergency. Now my question to you is, consider that none of the three cases actually happened. China has not waged any war or any other country. No external aggression is happening as of now. And there is no armed rebellion happened as of now. But can you say still that President can actually impose national emergency under Article 352? What do you think? What's your take? I have not told you. I'm just asking. Some of you might say, sir, how is it possible if conditions are mentioned that emergency due to, and you're saying none of the three conditions are actually happening, then how can we impose national emergency? Answer is yes, it can be imposed. Yes, it can be imposed. And how it can be imposed? Because our Constitution, Article 52 also says that if such circumstances are possible, if there is imminent danger of any of the case may occur, on this basis also Article 352 national emergency can be proclaimed. Okay. So Article 352 says that President can declare national emergency. Who declares? President declares. Okay. Now President can declare national emergency, but on whose recommendation? Answer me. On whose recommendation? Some of you might say, sir, it is quite obvious. President works on the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. That is why it should be Council of Ministers. Right? But that is not correct. Actually, after this 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, it is clearly mentioned that national emergency under Article 352 will be actually declared by President only on written advice by the Cabinet. The word Cabinet is used. And there's a trick here that in our Constitution, in all the cases where President need recommendation, this is the only case where the word Cabinet has been added. Otherwise, wherever it is not expressively mentioned, then it is considered that, yeah, President is going to act on aid and advice of Council of Ministers. And there's a difference between Cabinet and Council of Ministers. Because when I say Cabinet, it means I'm talking about Cabinet Ministers. But when I say Council of Ministers, it includes Cabinet Ministers, it also includes Union Minister of State It may also include Union Minister of State independent charge, these are the three kind of ministers. We also call them deputy ministers, right? But the point is, Council of Minister is a wider term. And out of this wider term, only cabinet, I'm telling, is required to recommend to the Honorable President that please declare national emergency. And why this was added? The reason is that Article 352 is not clearly mentioning that President require any recommendation. And in 1975, what happened that Indira Gandhi ji directly gave letter to our President that please declare national emergency, circumstances are there. So even her own ministers were not aware that national emergency is going to be imposed. Okay, to actually remove such discrepancy in governance, that is why it was added. Now, President can declare national emergency even before the actual occurrence. This is what I was asking from you. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Right? If such circumstances are there, that these circumstances may occur, then yes, we can impose. When national emergency is declared on the ground of war, external aggression, it is known as external emergency, already told you. And when it is on the basis of armed rebellion, it is known as internal emergency, already told you. Now, when we say armed rebellion, so told you this word was later added by 44th Amendment. Earlier, the word internal disturbance was there, right? 38th Amendment. Just take a look over the time period, 1975. The same time where national emergency was imposed. So, 38th Amendment made a declaration that imposition of national emergency is beyond judicial review. So, it was like there was a fight going on between the Parliament, Congress was having majority obviously at that point of time, in majority of state as well as Lok Sabha. So it means they were saying no, judiciary cannot intervene. But 44th Amendment Act actually changed this provision and said no, judicial review is possible. And then we had this Minerva Mill case which explicitly mentioned that even if national emergency is imposed, but this can be challenged in court. On what ground? On ground of malefied. No conclusive proof that such circumstances are occurring or may occur. If it is found that these are irrelevant facts, absurd and perverse, then in this case, judiciary can intervene. Okay, so please remember it. Judiciary can intervene as per Minerva Mill case, as per 44th Amendment Act. Government tried to shield it by 38th Amendment Act, but now it's not a success. Now, parliamentary approval is necessary for continuance of national emergency. What is parliamentary approval? Consider today, say 15th of March, President declare that there is national emergency. Actually, this need to be passed by both the houses within 1 month. Within 1 month, both the houses. Otherwise, this national emergency will not continue beyond this 1 month. Now, there's a twist here, and I see it is important, and that's why I put star point. Consider that Cabinet recommended to Honorable President that impose national emergency. It is declared. But after that, within 10 days, that this Lok Sabha got dissolved. Now, Lok Sabha got dissolved, and we are saying that it need to be passed by both the houses within 1 month. Now, what is going to happen now? Rajya Sabha cannot be dissolved. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, right? So, in this case, what is going to happen? That within 30 days, means within 1 month, within this 1 month, government has to ensure that this particular proposal is passed from Rajya Sabha. And whenever Lok Sabha is going to be reconstituted, within 30 days, it need to be passed from there as well if you want to continue it. Otherwise, national emergency will cease to exist. And this is what is mentioned here. Just read it now. However, the proclamation of emergency is issued at a time when the Lok Sabha has been dissolved, or the dissolution take place during the period of 1 month, because within 1 month you have to get this thing done without approving the proclamation, and proclamation approval is necessary. Proclamation survives until 30 days from the first sitting of Lok Sabha. Means when new Lok Sabha is going to reconstitute, then for 30 days it can survive, but within 30 days you have to get it passed. But this particular case can only get activated only when provided that Rajya Sabha has actually passed it meanwhile. So सीधी सी बात है, clear बात है. If Lok Sabha is not there, then you have to get it passed from Rajya Sabha. Okay? Now by which majority? Our constitution says need to be passed from either house by special majority. If approved by both the houses, then this national emergency will continue for 6 months. And before the completion of 6 months, you have to get it passed from both the houses again. And again, if Lok Sabha is not there, then same case, get it passed from Rajya Sabha. Right? And for how long? So our constitution has not put a limit how long or the maximum limit the national emergency can continue. But within 6 months, you have to come again. Right? So every resolution approving the proclamation of emergency, its continuance must be passed by either house by special majority, already told you. Now revocation of proclamation. This was that, yes, that's how it is going to be declared and it is going to be approved, right? Proclamation. So revocation, number one case is जिसने लगाई है वो ही हटा दे. Means if president has declared, then president can actually declare that, yes, I'm declaring that national emergency is removed. Number one case. Second is that if Lok Sabha passes a resolution that, yes, we don't want national emergency to continue now. And by which majority? Simple majority. Simple majority. And it should be, you can easily remember it like imposition of national emergency need to be tough because it gives huge amount of power in the hands of center, right? But removal of national emergency is made simple, and that is why simple majority. Okay. So number one case, president can declare that national emergency is removed. Second case, if Lok Sabha passes a resolution in this regard by simple majority. And third is, if 1/10 member of Lok Sabha, they present this proposal before Lok Sabha speaker. And if Lok Sabha is not in service as of now, means there's no session going on at that point of time, then they can present this particular proposal before Honorable President. Sir, President, sir, Lok Sabha is not in session, but we want this national emergency to be removed because circumstances are fine now. Situation is fine. Then in this case, a special sitting need to be actually concluded within 14 days. You should have this meeting within 14 days. And then if it is passed from simple majority, then definitely this national emergency will be removed. But you should question this fact. Why 1/10 of the total members of the Lok Sabha? Why 1/10? Why not 1/4, 1/5, 1/6, 1/3, half? Why 1/10? Because my friends, there's a rule of quorum. Means a house can only work when at least 1/10 members are present there. Only then its proceedings can continue. So if 1/10 members are saying, sir, we want national emergency should be removed, then it is actually a bit assured that at least these people are going to come. Right? Now, a resolution for disapproval is different from resolution of approving. First we discussed resolution of approving, then we discussed resolution of disapproving. So difference kya hai? The first one is required to be passed by Lok Sabha only, and the second one needs to be passed by the both houses. It means, now remember, when President declared national emergency, I told you that it need to be passed by both houses within 1 month. So it means both houses. But when it comes to removal of national emergency, I have not mentioned Rajya Sabha altogether. I've only mentioned Lok Sabha. Means if a resolution for removal of national emergency from simple majority in Lok Sabha, then job is done. So this is the difference. UPSC has asked question in statement in these, you can say, areas. So please remember it. The first one to be adopted by simple majority, told you. Removal of national emergency is by simple majority. But approving that yes, this emergency should continue, it needs a special majority. Okay? Effects on national emergency. Effects of national emergency. So there are 3 cases and all 3 cases are important. UPSC has asked questions on this. First, center-state relation. Second, effect on the life of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Life of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha means I'm talking about the tenure. And third is fundamental right. Another, If these three cases are important, this is most important. Okay. Now, effects on center, state relations. First, let's talk about executive. When national emergency is imposed, center gets the executive power. Means center gives direction to the state. Okay, on policies, schemes. Then comes legislative. In case legislative, we have to talk about parliament. So parliament has power to make law on matters of state subject as well. Even president gets power to pass ordinance. Ordinance is like temporary law on matters of state subject. But these things, these laws which are made during national emergency on state subject by parliament, they remain operative only till 6 months from when this national emergency ceases to exist. Means becomes inoperative 6 months after the emergency ceases to be operative. So you got 3 points in legislative. 1, parliament can make law on matter of state list. Number 2, president can issue ordinance on matter of state list. Number 3 is talking about both cases, that they will remain active only till 6 months from the date this national emergency is removed or ceased to exist. Okay. So in case of finances, president can issue this notice to the state that now the constitutional distribution of revenue is going to be changed. Okay, the promises which were made that this much revenue is going to be shared, this can be changed. Okay. Now, effect on the life of Lok Sabha and State Assembly. First of all, this effect is same. And what is the effect? During the time national emergency is continuing, the Lok Sabha's period can also get extended. For example, if national emergency got imposed in 5th year, and you know that 5 years is the maximum tenure of Lok Sabha MPs, right? But now, since national emergency is imposed simultaneously, Lok Sabha's tenure can also be increased. Okay? So it means extended beyond the normal term 1 year at a time. So it will be extended 1 year at a time. Now, I'm making a statement and you have to tell me the statement is true or false. During national emergency, after the declaration, the time period of national emergency can be extended 1 year at a time, and along with this, tenure of Lok Sabha can also be extended 1 year at a time. The statement is true or false? Answer is false. You know why? Because Lok Sabha's tenure can be extended 1 year at a time. But national emergency is actually approved for 6 months. I've just told you. And this is how traps are laid. Okay? And same is the case with State Assembly. It means Parliament, because national emergency ki baat kar rahe hain, we are talking about national emergency. Parliament can actually extend normal tenure of the State Legislative Assembly by 1 year each time during national emergency. And this is not mentioned that till what time you can actually extend it. Okay? That is why some legal luminaries say that this provision can be misused by a government at center for actually turning democracy into dictatorship. That they are going to keep continuing the tenure of Lok Sabha. Right? But you should also know that I have told you Minerva Mill case. That whatever you are doing, the grounds of national emergency can be questioned, challenged in Supreme Court. Supreme Court can declare that null and void. Right? Now, effect on fundamental rights. So, we have 2 articles regarding this. Article 358, Article 359. 358 says that when it is used, then 6 fundamental rights mentioned under Article 9, Article 19, they will be suspended automatically. And Article 59 talks about the remedial measures related to fundamental rights can be suspended by Honorable President by issuing a list. Yes, remedial measures, your right to go to the court for ensuring these fundamental rights can be suspended. Means there will be a list. But in case of Article 58, there is a automatic provision. So suspension, let's take a look. So Article 58, F6 means fundamental rights. Which fundamental rights? 6 fundamental rights mentioned in Article 19, automatic suspension. But there's a twist here. 44th Constitutional Amendment Act says that Article 19 can be suspended as per the power of 358 only when national emergency is of external nature. Okay, so if it is due to armed rebellion, then this Article 19 fundamental rights cannot be suspended automatically. Okay? So I think this is clear to you. Now, suspension of other fundamental rights, I'm talking about 359. So President is authorized to suspend, means President will declare a list that Article 14, 15, 16, 17, means whatever list they are going to say. President is going to say where remedial measures are being suspended. Means it is not like that now right to equality Article 14 is being suspended. It means that now inequality in country will start. No. You will have those principles intact in our administration. But the point is you cannot go to the court because it may complex the situation, because sometimes government will need to actually go beyond the boundaries set by Part 3 in order to uphold the unity integrity of India, right? That is why this protection has been given. Now, suspension can be of shorter period. So there's a difference between 358 and 359. In 358, I told you about Article 19. So Article 19(6) fundamental rights, automatically suspension in case of national emergency will remain suspended to the whole period. Okay. But in 359, this period can be shorter. Okay. These are the areas where question is made. Then Parliament, the order should be laid before each House of Parliament for approval. But in case of 358, I use the word President. President will actually, means this will automatically suspend. Okay, but in this case, approval will be required. 44th Amendment Act says that President cannot actually suspend the right to move to the court of two articles, 20 and 21. So what you gained? In case of 359, first, there's a list. It is not automatic suspension of all. Second, can be of shorter period. Third, parliamentary approval is needed. Fourth, your 20 and 21 article, your fundamental rights are intact. They are secure. Okay. Now, declaration made so far, I mean, there's a fact when we saw Chinese aggression 1962, then we saw this national emergency provision was enacted. Then when we had this Bangladesh Liberation War, 1971, then also we this declared national emergency. And the earlier national emergency was continuing. But in 1975, another proclamation was made on the basis of internal disturbance. So internal emergency. So I hope now with respect to national emergency provisions, you are comfortable. If you have any doubt, you can shoot me a message on my Telegram, personal Telegram, shashank.powerbeing, or you can actually, with respect to this PDF, you can reach out to Shashank Tyagi for you Telegram group. See you in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.